But I just will never make fun of you ever again.
Yeah, no, she literally was
I
like,
really
I have so
got
much
what
more
I
empathy.
deserve. I have so much more empathy for you. I'm so sorry.
What better drama than just being like,
No,
ugh,
I love
and
it
like walking
so
down the
much.
beach by yourself.
I love it
Fucking
so
vibe.
much. You like viscerally just sent me back to my first relationship ever.
You say bitchy, I say confident. I just sent you a TikTok about this where it was a guy being like, when a woman knows she's hot, I'm like, slay, queen, pose.
Right.
He's like, when a man thinks he's
Pipe
hot,
down,
he's like, I want
sir.
to fall on a sword and die. Are we ready?
It's true.
Oh,
Okay.
are we recording?
Yay!
Yay! Hi.
I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy to be here. Can we talk about this beautiful setup that we have today?
Feel like Vanna White.
I
What a
love
gift.
it.
So happy to be here.
So happy to be here. I feel like we have not recorded in person in so long.
2 months?
2 months.
Easily,
We
right?
took a summer break.
I was going to start by complimenting you.
Okay.
For the past week, you've been a very good best friend because you've really been babying me.
Oh, have I?
Oh my God, the way you have emotionally placated to or emotionally bid for everything I've needed this week has just been delicious.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean,
I'm happy I could be of service.
all my health things. Everyone, wear your sunscreen. You know, no one talks about sunscreen more than me. And I still got 2 moles cut off my back and the top of my head. So I have a little bald spot on the top of my head.
Yeah.
Which is objectively not bad. You can't say whatever, but you've let me be so self-indulgent with
you
small
have not
little
been
things.
self-indulgent.
Oh my God, I feel like I have been, and you've been babying me in a way that I just really appreciate.
Wait, tell them about why you have, first of all, thank you. Second of all, pleasure to do it. Third of all, tell the people why you're so grateful for my placating this week, because you finally understand me a little bit deeper.
So, goddamn. In addition to my moles this week, I was supposed to be up here yesterday. The day before I woke up, and I was like, I just feel like there's a hair in my eye. And Aaron was trying to get it out. I was like, what's going on? And I looked, and I was like, oh my God, is that a sty in my eye? I've never had one in my life. We've openly made fun of you on air on this podcast when you've had one
It's
before.
just like
you
my
get them
one
all the
downfall.
time. Yeah, it's like your one.
Since I was a kid.
Your
Guys, I
one
swear
curse.
I'm like really hygienic and sanitary.
Of course you are.
But I'll literally, like a gust of wind will hit
Yeah.
me and I'll get a sty the next day.
Yeah. And I have just completely torn you apart and made fun of you for it. And I was joking, like, oh, I'm going to have to wear sunglasses when we record, blah, 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 like just being funny about it. And I woke up the next day and I was like, Gabriella, I couldn't open my eye for 3.5 hours.
The videos
because
that
it
you
was
sent
just
me were so drama.
pain.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, the videos of me being like,
I honestly want to insert it. She literally is like,
you can't see it.
open.
And I'm
You
like,
first of all, can't see a thing. It's just bright red. You have very sensitive eyes, bright red. And she's like, as if she's staring into the beaming sunlight. And I was like, girl,
the way that I
welcome.
have so much respect and empathy for you, I couldn't read a book. I couldn't watch TV. I was like, I actually couldn't get through. First of all, there was no way I was going to drive 2.5 hours up here.
Yeah.
So thank God I woke up the next day and it was fine because I did all the
Can't see a
things you
thing.
told me
Yeah.
to immediately. But I just will never make fun of you ever again.
yeah, no, she literally
I
was like,
really
I have so
got
much
what
more
I
empathy.
deserve. I have so much more empathy for you. I'm so sorry.
It
I will
hurts like
baby
a fucking
you.
bitch.
Oh my God. But I
Yeah.
what's serendipitous timing, I went to the optometrist recently and they told me to get self-heating eye pads because I have dry eyes that helps with like oil glands and stuff.
Sounds amazing.
So she said she has a reusable one. I just went with a gut instinct of like, sorry to the earth, but I'm going to get the disposable ones just because I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's eyes and I don't know.
Yeah.
They arrived the day that all of this happened. So I've just been doing them nonstop. And I brought a couple up so you could have one so you could try it and see if you like it.
Thank you.
They have like a cooling version and a warming version. And I swear I did it like 4 times. And I swear that's why. That and coconut oil.
I know when I'm gonna get one of those bitches. It's always if I'm like doing laundry and I'm cleaning out the dust from the thing, I like have to shut my eyes because it like puffs.
Yeah.
And then it'll go in my eye and then I wake up with a fucking sty.
Yeah.
It's brutal. So I'm really sorry that you went through that, and also
It's okay because
Welcome to the club.
it brought us closer together.
it did bring us
It,
closer
it
together.
took a sty in the eye to bring us closer together, but we've made it.
Are people in your life not placating you enough? Because I really feel like I didn't do that much.
No, I just think I intentionally try to not be a dick or like a baby about things. And the only people I feel
Sure.
safe, like really being self-indulgent with, is you and Aaron, my two Taurus husbands.
Yeah.
And I just feel like I was doing it pretty consistently with you for like a week and a half.
I feel like I do it to you every day. So it's
Yeah, I
okay.
don't think you do, but you were just so generous about it. It really meant a lot to me.
Oh, well, the thing is, okay, you know how everybody, and we'll dive in. By the way, we're doing a Q&A. We'll get into
Stay
questions
tuned.
soon. What's funny is because every friend has their quirk and their
Right.
thing, and you are really good at doing that for other people. Like
I'm a good
if
emotional bidder, for
Yes,
sure.
if I come to you with a piece of information that is like not even that big of a deal, but like has a tinge of excitement to it, you are freaking
Gagged.
out,
Yeah.
over the top. Like
Yeah.
you're giving me exactly
Yes.
what I'm
Because
expecting.
how good does that feel?
Amazing.
Yeah.
So I just want to give it back to you
Oh, it really did it for me.
because you do a good job
It
to
really
do that
did
with
it
other
for me.
people.
I did have something fun and exciting happen to me. Not to like fangirl. Who's my favorite person in the entire world that started following me last
Oh,
week?
Sai Swoon.
I've been talking about Sai Swoon on this podcast
How
for
would
two
you
and a
not
half
say
years.
that publicly? Come on now.
I don't know.
No.
Okay, I've been
exciting.
obsessed with this girl on the internet for years, and
Mm-hmm.
she started following me recently, and I got so excited about it. But I was with our friend Ellie, and
Mm-hmm.
I went to show her, and I knew she's not on the side of the internet
No.
as me, so I knew it wouldn't matter. And I went like this. I was like, okay, ready? Big reaction, big reaction. And I like turned it, and Annika watched it and was like, I'm gonna start doing that to people. And I was like, yeah, it doesn't. I don't care if you understand it or not. Just give me the like.
Yep.
That's it. Feels so good. That's all I need. That's all I need.
It's all I need to.
It's really great.
We can all be babies together.
Yeah.
It's nice to feel that. So it really did that for me like 2 days ago. I was just like mood flipped from one moment I'm like, I am doing amazing, to the next moment being like, I have no idea what I'm
Questioning your
doing.
entire life.
What's happening? Oh my God.
Welcome to the creative process. You know. Yeah.
And I like sat on the couch in fetal position, just kind of like staring. And he came right next to me and started petting me like a cat and was like, it's okay. You're doing a great job. Do you want some ice cream? Like the whole nine. And I was like,
God, I love those.
should we dive in? How to structure a spark, AKA having an idea and mapping out how to make it come to life.
If that's not the most you question I've ever heard in my entire life.
Where creativity and functionality
Yes.
intersect.
Yes.
Functionality,
Structure.
Structure.
Sure. Yeah.
process.
You know what's funny? Sai Swoon, I heard recently said having routine is placing yourself on a larger altar. Which was kind of a cool way to put that. Like, I feel
Oh.
like in the very Rick Rubin way, sometimes when you have unlimited creative options versus here's a cap, play in between these two boundaries, it almost can give more freedom because there's a direction with it. So I love a delicate dance between spark and intuition and creativity and structure.
Ava DuVernay talks about that too in her
course she
masterclass.
does.
You know, that's my
Yeah.
queen.
Take it away, baby.
She talks about that similar Rick Rubin mindset of, she gives an example of in her movie Origin. I think I've told this story on the podcast, so I will not do it again. But basically, a lot of parameters got very quickly placed around a shot that she wanted to get.
The one that was supposed to look like India? Yeah.
And it
yeah.
came out so much better
Yeah.
than she could have ever expected, having those parameters around it. I think the way that that can parlay into my response for this question, my friend Maxine, who is an incredibly talented
Amazing.
producer, storyteller, everything, and she really helped me with this because she's very good at stopping me in the middle of me making excuses for not doing something. And
Good, you need that.
what she's been very helpful with in particular was, she was saying to me, she was like, look, at the end of the day, when it comes to anything, you're not going to have every single answer before you can take the next step. And just by the way that this question was framed, I'm feeling like you and I are similar in the way that we have all these creative ideas and we want to make these things happen. And at the same time, love a structure, love an exact step by step, and like want to know answers 1 through 35 before we do anything. So I get you. And it's amazing being prepared. But also understand that you're not always going to have all of the answers, and that's kind of impossible. And you're not going to get more data until you take a step. And that step and what happens in that outcome is going to give you the information for the next step. So when it comes to having this creative spark, feed into it. Don't put it on the back burner because you're like, oh, I need to do all of these 100 things. Feed into it, play into that energy, and just create and go from there.
I love that. I really love, I don't think you've read it yet, and I will bring it for you because especially in this time in your life, you're going to really love it. Elizabeth Gilbert, who wrote Eat, Pray, Love, wrote a book called Big Magic, all about inspiration and creativity.
Oh, cool.
And she talks about the idea of when she is in the mood to write, it's almost like it's downloaded from above. And she's like, I have to run with the energy to get to the keyboard to get it down because otherwise it comes and goes.
Yes.
And the way that ideas are meant to come at a certain time and they can come through different vessels. And that's why you'll see different people at the same time do something similar if it's that idea's time. But she has a really beautiful way of talking about this in terms of, similar to how you're phrasing it, nurturing the spark and the energy and working with it when it comes, and yet creating like systems for playtime, like an hour in the schedule every day to write, even when you feel no inspiration. So it's that balance between the discipline and working on your craft, and then also being open to like letting that energy download and running with it.
You took the words, that was literally exactly where I was going next, because that was something that I really had to drill into my head this year. I wrote about this in, I think, my first newsletter send for Regardless, where I had a guy that I was seeing at the time tell me or ask me, do you have a writing practice? And I got so viscerally offended.
I feel like I remember
because I was like, no, like I'm a writer. I get paid to write for publications. Like I write for them all the time. Like, why would I need a writing practice? I'm writing articles every single week. And he was like, well, if you want to publish like a book of essays, are you writing that way? It's very different than what you write for magazines. And he was like, every writer I know has a practice. And I was so offended.
Totally.
Because it was so true.
Yeah,
I was like, why am I exempt from the
Right.
one thing that makes everybody better at something, which is practice? It's amazing when you can have those downloads that come through, but you also can set yourself up so that when the inspiration hits, the success is there with it.
Exactly.
So-
Opportunity meets preparedness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So start doing the things now, whether it's giving yourself time to think, which we talked about recently on the podcast, of giving yourself that energy to be able to like actually let the idea come through. Important. And then also, depending on whatever your medium is, practice at it, get better at it, so that when the opportunity strikes, you're ready. Because
Those muscles
you've
are
done
warm.
the work. Oh, I love this question.
Love this question.
Fun. Should we go to the next one?
Please.
Okay. How to stop taking things personally. A
The way,
great one.
Okay, the way my entire drive up here, I was talking to a friend and we literally had this conversation for 2.5 hours.
Wait, really?
I was talking to a friend, you know which one,
Okay.
and his unpacking, essentially, because we were catching up, was realizing that all of the problems that people have
Why was
are because it's a hard truth. All of the problems that we have, we're kind of making up. He was like, I'm realizing that my own energy and what I'm going through and like working on is a result of my own neuroses. Like I'm making this up as my own reality. And I was kind of sharing with him in a higher level of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Again, placating to like there's external circumstances here. So I'm saying
100%.
like in an everyday experience, I think the most liberating piece of information you can have is everything is the way that you tell yourself a story about yourself. Like if you're going to keep yourself as a victim, if you're going to change a belief about who you are, how you act, and how you move, like self-accountability is the hardest thing to hear when you're in it, and yet the most liberating piece of information I can offer people. So I think when it comes to this specifically, I think of that scene in Schitt's Creek when David's gonna go get his license and Alexis is like, nobody fucking cares. Like, I mean it with the most love in my heart to tell you no one cares about you as much as you care about you.
100%.
Like, no one's thinking about you the way other people, like everyone's thinking about themselves as much. And I don't mean that in like a mean or negative or everyone's
not.
narcissistic, like not in that way, but just in so many things that are easy to take personally are because we're projecting our own fears and narratives and things that are like serving these ideas we have about ourselves that keep us in a place that is comfortable for you that you don't need to be kept at. So if you ask yourselves the questions like, where does my trauma have skill sets? Am I willing to let this go? What would that look like? When you start exploring that stuff, it's going to become so much easier to prime the world to realize like, wow, none of that was really about me. And that is the most freeing feeling in the entire world. It opens up everything.
Yeah. First thing, if somebody says something to you and it like really strikes a nerve, I think that's also just a ping for you to be like, okay, why does this feel true? Am I acting like a dick? Or is what they're saying, I'm going to go there too, is what this person telling me like slightly rooted in something that's warranted?
Right.
Because we always love the exploration of self.
Of course, yeah.
But then also, it can be the complete opposite, where think about any time that you might have said something mean to somebody or thought something mean about somebody, and let that out, and where that is coming from. And it could be a place of jealousy or whatever. So like what you think about me is not my business type vibe. And on top of it, now I'm thinking too, like in a work capacity, like if someone's boss says something to you, that's where I'm like, okay, do an internal check, because it's not about you. It might be about the task. It might be about what we need to get done, about the organization, like whatever. Decenter yourself for 5 seconds and recognize that it could just be like a bigger issue or a bigger picture situation for you to take a look at.
I think that's been the hardest place I've ever felt this was in my early 20s in a work environment of like how crippling and debilitating that felt. And just slowly watching other people navigate, like not my circus, not my monkeys. Like they're here to focus on a goal that's different than me. So if they're communicating frustratingly to me about something, it's not about me, it's about them trying to see a bigger picture of something. And I think just giving myself examples, watching the way people move, hearing other people talk about it slowly lets you kind of start playing with that in your own life. So maybe talking to people that you really admire that do a good job of this is another helpful place to start. Because in a work setting specifically, does that like just it like makes me want to take a deep breath. Like it just frees up so much fucking stress.
Yeah. I mean, also nobody is exempt from criticism or critique or constructive criticism, I should say. So you could also look at it as an opportunity for growth, because that should not be, depending on how somebody says something to you, the root of what they're trying to get at usually has nothing to do with your character and has something to maybe do with a skill set or something that can be worked and something that can be improved upon. And there's always room for improvement. So I think just, again, taking yourself off a pedestal and like releasing that part of your ego to be like, oh, like I can improve. And there are things that are going to make me better. And you could also take it a step further, depending on who it's coming from too, and be like, this person's trying to do a service for me, so I don't look like a fucking moron the next time I do this in a room of people who are even meaner.
Well, I thought about what you said last episode
about
when you asked Zoe.
Yeah.
And then you were like, why am I getting triggered when I asked him to give me this feedback? But it's like when the people that love you the most can say it too. It's like, oh yeah, they're pointing something out because they believe in what I can do, and they're trying to help me get there and make me better. Like, such a wonderful reframe.
Team, but still.
But and it always comes up. Like these are things that like again, like everything else, right? Like active practice, remind yourself, be gentle with yourself as you're feeling through the trigger, feel it in your body, let yourself feel it, understand it, journal about it, like express it. And then just like practice makes perfect, baby. It really does.
Yeah.
Whether you're writing or trying to not take things personally.
Right. Okay. What are some ways to get over anxiety over uncontrollable situations, specifically within relationships? I had to read that twice.
Okay.
Some ways to get over anxiety over. Okay.
Well, it's funny because it was kind of similar to what we talked about. The great human fear, like the great human thing, thing to overcome is the unknown, right? So like things out of our control fucking spiral us naturally. And that's inevitably back to like mortality, salience, and death and the ultimate challenge to me. So I think finding where the pieces of that can be like liberating and fun and joyful, and like looking for, and I mean like really scaling this back to small, silly, insignificant moments to show yourself where is the fun and magic in unknown is a small way to start playing, where then it can translate to other facets of your life. So like I would experiment with this outside of relationships to see where something out of your control and the way you show up with an open mind, open heart, open energy, and just flow and see what happens in a fun way and watch how that unfolds. I would play with that somewhere else, to then when things start happening in the area of your life, relationships that's like really activating to you, you already have this perspective and open-mindedness somewhere else that can slowly start translating and living out in a different way later. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, it does. I
mean, it's the first thing that came to mind.
Yeah. I think this person is touching on something that's like universal, like you said, outside of just romantic relationships, because it's life. Like life is filled with everything that you can't control. Yeah. And so I think it's really easy for us to treat our friends or our partners like our Sims characters, because everything else is so out of control that we're like, okay, this is something that I'm getting to choose. We don't get to choose our family. We don't get to, choose all these other things. I'm making a choice here. Let me like grip it and mold it
Totally.
and suffocate it into what I want. My
Totally.
favorite thing to do ever.
Yeah.
So like I get you.
Yeah.
But it always ends up horribly, A. And B, what a horrible stress to put on yourself, frankly.
Fair.
And what is a giant lesson that I've learned is, especially in long-term love and nurturing of that love, is uncontrollable shit is always going to happen. Whether it's uncontrollable outside factors or the fact that your partner, this is a weird thing to say, but like they're uncontrollable.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it kind of is what it is. And I think you just have to, like we always talk about when getting into a relationship on this podcast, you have to identify what your non-negotiables, if this uncontrollable stuff is coming from the partner and like they're, whether it's like a friend or that you don't like or whatever, or a family member that you don't like, if there's whatever, or their job that you're long distance because of, or whatever it is, you have to outline those non-negotiables and make sure that what's happening is like within those parameters.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to life shit, this is a really cool way for you to be able to test how you guys navigate life together and see how you show up for one another and how that person reacts, how you react, how you guys help each other react. Like, are you both reacting worse because you're together? Are you reacting better and stronger because you're together? It's all fucking data.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
I thought of one thing, in the same way I said at the start to focus somewhere else and then bring it. I say this in terms of like, be careful with this and don't let this spin into maladaptive behaviors. But the other side of that coin is like, where can you play with what you do have control over to help you cope?
Yeah.
So like, I think about
Yeah.
our fun and fit era and how like
Yeah.
exercise has been such a metaphor for our manifestations for you and I recently, and like how we can be healthy with that and have control over how we express ourselves. Granted, as two people that have experience with EDs, this is why I say be careful with the way that you're looking for control, but healthy expressions of like where you can do that, and then the letting go and the practice of the magic and where that can be fun outside of that.
You know, also just I thought of too, that you just led me down this rabbit hole. Thinking back on the times in my life that in a relationship I was the most controlling was when I was the most freaked out over the lack of control in my personal life.
Totally.
So then I tried to control that
Same.
person and that dynamic.
Absolutely.
And
Exact same feeling.
I've watched it happen to myself over the last year of the way that I've just like stopped, and how much not only better the relationship has gotten, but how much happier I am.
Yeah.
And that correlation is strong because
Yeah.
I've been doing things in my life, because I started realizing the things that I was trying to control about him were things that I needed to control and get on lock about myself.
Totally.
And so I just started putting that energy onto me. And not to give us another reason to be fucking self-centered, but like I just would bring it
Yeah.
back to me. I'd be like, okay, what is happening in my life? Clearly I have too much fucking time on my hands that I'm sitting here being like, and how are we going to change this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Make yourself happy.
Yeah.
Do the things that make you happy. Do things for other people that make them happy. Create that sort of altruism loop in your life. Get yourself to a better space where you're feeling good and you're vibing and you're creating and you're doing all this shit. And like let it be.
Exactly.
Let it be.
You like viscerally just sent me back to my first relationship ever. I was like, oh my, that's like the TLDR of like how I behaved in that. Because it was through all of my biggest trauma and there was all the external. So I had to, it's like what you're trying to tether to,
Yes.
but you got to tether to yourself. You can't tether to the trying to control someone else.
Or
Ooh,
to like,
I love that. That's juicy. That's totally juicy.
it's a good
Feel
one.
you. Whoever sent this in, I feel you.
Yeah, all of these. Okay.
These are great questions today. I'm so excited.
I swear to God, if you would have told me that my boyfriend made a fake account and asked this question,
So,
love you.
what are you doing on here?
What are you doing around here? Ariana, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
How to deal with nostalgia all the time. He's such a nostalgic sweet boy.
I love nostalgia. I don't
Me
know how
too.
you're framing this in a bad way
Can I
because I
tell you-
love nostalgia.
Can I tell you a story?
Yeah, please.
Okay. I'm outing myself. When I was probably like 12, we were taking a family vacation. And
where?
We were going to the Bahamas.
Of course you are.
And I was really excited because my mom had rented a house and we were going to be on the beach. And it was right on the beach. And I don't think we had ever done something like this. And I was so excited that the house was on the beach. And I remember telling her, I was like, this is how sweet and innocent children are that I didn't realize until my sister and mom bursted out laughing and made fun of me. Like how corny this was.
Oh.
But I literally said, I'm so excited at the house on the beach. I can't wait to like wake up and go swimming and do all this stuff. And I was like, plus like if we get in a fight or something, I can just like walk down the beach by myself and like stroll. And my mom and my sister looked at me and just like pissed their pants and were like,
The way that's like so you as a little kid.
no,
though.
like it's like me looking out a car window. I'm in a music video. That is how I still am that human being.
That's so you.
But
Oh,
isn't it
that's
true?
really cute.
What
Yeah.
better drama than just being like,
No,
ugh,
I love
and
it
like walking
so
down the
much.
beach by yourself?
I love it
Fucking
so
vibe.
much. Vibe.
What a fucking
vibe.
vibe.
Here's where I think the root of this question is though, is like, what's the balance between like the romanticizing nostalgia and feeling good, like, and having those feelings, which are really fun, and living in the past?
Yes.
I think that's the
'Cause they're
key here,
different.
right?
Yes.
Energetically, how does it feel different to you?
Well, I think you can tell. I think
Yeah.
nostalgia is like a very bittersweet, very emotional
Romantic.
thing, but it's not emotionally charged.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Where there's a
Yes.
difference between something I can like, I don't know. I feel like it's emotional, but not emotionally charged.
I feel that distinction.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes
Where it's like
sense.
it's not like a reactive state.
Right.
It's a sentimental state.
Right.
And I think, homie, close the fucking yearbook. Like, you can be real with yourself when you need to close the yearbook about anything.
Yeah.
And change is really scary.
Yeah.
Taurus that doesn't leave her house. Like, I get it. Change is horrifying. It's uncontrollable.
Yeah.
And so it's really easy to, like, stay stuck in the stories that feel good
Yeah.
or that feel sad or, like, let you feel anything, frankly. Because you know it. You know the ending.
And it feels good to hit that point that you're looking for.
Yeah. So
We
maybe,
like the same stories. Like, we like that same archetype.
Yeah.
I feel the exact same way. I feel like the romanticizing nostalgia, it has, like you're saying, it has emotions in it, but I'm not like, I don't feel stuck. I don't feel in a loop. I don't feel like activated, for lack of a better word. And I do find that it's so important to look at the past to understand the present and like not repeat the same mistake. And I even think it is fun to romanticize that. When you find that you're doing it to a level that is out of fear for meeting the present moment, that's when you start looking at it to step through. But then, like, what's my advice to start that step through?
Yeah. Like, thank you for making this helpful.
I'm trying, right? Like, I mean, fuck, my answer to everything is just get present. But like, if you're afraid of the present, where did I start with that? I'm trying to think back to like my own journey with that.
I mean, sorry, I'm fully interrupting.
No,
you,
please do. Please
because
do.
I was trying to think about what to do when you hate the present moment is try and grip onto the things that are actually nice about it.
Yeah.
Like anything.
Like when you, in your no spark era,
yeah, in my no spark era, I made
a
to-do
few months ago.
lists.
Yeah. Yeah.
I stared at some of the pretty things in my apartment
Totally.
and was like, wow, that's pretty. I bought myself
Practicing
flowers.
gratitude. Yeah.
I went for a walk.
Yeah.
Like literally anything that I was like, this is nice. And also not, you stop the doom scrolling as much as you can.
Oh, please. If that's, I think this is a really important one for like avoiding the present moment or past or like getting out of the nostalgia. You gotta have analog time set up, because that is so easy to feed into that for sure. That's a really important one. Yeah, I love that. I think it's the small stuff. I think you're right. It's like leaning into the small stuff. For example, you haven't seen it yet, but I did bring you a fall themed coloring book.
I'm so, you don't understand what that's doing.
Oh, I've been having so much fun with it. But I didn't specifically buy you the markers that I bought because I wanted to test them because I haven't tried them and they're not good.
Oh.
So I'm glad I didn't.
I think
so
I
I'll
have
let
color
you know.
pencils.
And I think like crayons, like really creamy crayons or something to like blend would be a lot more fun with the book.
pastel-y
Yeah, yeah. Yes. So I think
ones you
we
had,
need to
like,
get
in art
those.
class that are, like, messy?
Exactly. I think we need to get those.
I have
I
watercolors,
regret
it's
getting
not
the
the
pens.
same.
No, not for this.
Oh, can't wait.
Anyway, I digress. Maybe you
Okay.
need a coloring book
Maybe we'll get to like one more cue.
and
For
then do
today?
another one. Great.
What? Perfect segue, Meadow.
Okay.
What are you looking forward to in the fall?
Wow.
We all know.
My ego really came out really fast. Coats. I fucking love
Same.
fashion and I hate the goddamn summer.
hate summer
It's
fashion
too
so
hot.
much. Oh
I'm
my
getting
God.
moles cut out of me. My skin can't stand it. All I want to do is wear layers and coats and button up. Like, I miss getting dressed so badly.
Yeah, I fucking
All I
feel
want.
you,
And
bitch.
fall isn't real in Southern California. Like, it will be 75 till Christmas. Like, it's not going to start for a long time. All I want to do is wear a fucking coat, dude. It's all I want to do.
I'm
Also,
right
I
there
guess
with you.
rewatching Gilmore Girls now that it's nostalgic for me because I went through my whole saga.
We need to give you another. Have you watched One Tree Hill?
No, I don't know if I'm cut out for that.
Why?
I don't know.
don't like
It
teen
never
drama?
spoke to me. Not really.
You're gonna hate it after like season 3. Friday Night Lights.
Never seen.
You'll like that more than One Tree Hill.
I'll watch it with you.
I think any sort of like hometown teen show
Yeah.
gives fall.
I mean, listen, I'm
That
such a
and Gavin
dark...
DeGraw.
I can't relate.
I know you can't relate to me on that, but it's just true. Gavin DeGraw is fall. I've made a TikTok about this. It's just, it is. I can't explain it further. There's no other words. That's what it is.
I'm just such also like a dark academia bitch. Like this is where me and Sarah Shikui really align. Like,
Okay.
like a dark, moody library and reading and being cozy and can't like all that kind of trope. Like the like start of the new school year energy.
Paris Geller smoking her dead boyfriend's cigars.
That is
That's what you-
so
that's right.
me personified into a moment. It's not even funny.
Because
like
she missed
that
the way he
type of
smelled.
energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Do you love how I get that reference now?
I know.
How about you?
You fucking hit the nail on the head, bitch. You put me in a fucking coat. Like there
Yeah.
is nothing. Two things. Nothing makes my ego more like a tan. A fresh tan. I get a fucking tiny
Yeah,
bit of
you really
color,
do.
and
You really
I
do.
think I'm Adrienne Barlon in fucking Thrill.
I'm so happy for you.
Like,
yeah.
put me in a girl
She
group.
really does this. Yeah.
I'm a pop star. I am Latina. I am woman.
Yeah.
I am
Hear me
hot.
roar. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Prong number 1. Prong number 2, a good fucking coat or like leather jacket or something. I love we love an oversized. I love a layering moment.
I love a
I am a
trench.
very basic piece bitch with good accessories. And I
yes.
can't do that
No.
when I'm sweating
I know.
in every fucking crevice.
I know.
Like Nightmare on Elm Street. Fucking hate
Completely
it.
agree.
Hate it, hate it, hate it,
Completely
hate it, hate
agree.
it. So fashion.
Libra season?
Sure. It's your birthday. We'll placate.
I'm a witch.
Yeah. Fall does make me witchier, I feel like.
Well, it's that season.
Well, Halloween. I just want to watch Hocus Pocus.
And you know what's funny? My birthday's right before Halloween, and then my anniversary is the day after Halloween. So like all of this energy is very like
Yeah.
me in my element. Fall is me in my element.
Yeah.
Fall is me when you're during Aries season.
Which weird because I'm a Taurus, but the Aries.
No,
is what
but
makes
you're
me
kind
fun.
of you're like height of your power in a different
yeah.
way.
Well, it's my moon, so it
yeah.
makes me a little
yeah.
loony toony.
Yeah.
Okay.
In a fun way though.
In a fun way.
Yeah.
In a way that's needed.
In a way that gets you out of the house.
I digress. And then what else? Hocus Pocus. I'm not a really big Halloween bitch. I like the spooky. I like being home on Halloween and being spooky at home.
Totally, but I did get invited to a Halloween party, and
Oh.
Erin and I haven't done anything for a long time, for the first time in a while. And you know the costume that I've been waiting to do for 5 years.
Yeah, I know.
I'm so excited. I'm
Don't
not gonna
even
I can't tell, but I've been sitting on this idea for 5 years, so I'm thrilled to be invited somewhere this year.
Yeah.
Wait, I guess because I thought of something for the two of us, and then it just
Hot chocolate.
yeah.
Oh, we're gonna go to the Gilmore Girls set.
thank God.
Yeah.
There was one other thing.
I love like a
Shoot.
hot drink, a s'more,
Yeah.
leaves.
I'm not gonna remember. I think it
wait,
floated
wait.
away. Okay.
Niche.
Okay.
You're not gonna understand it
Okay.
because I don't. You weren't like an early YouTuber beauty guru girl, were you?
Yeah, but I'm older than you, so like you
Yeah.
were doing Juicy Star 07 and I was doing Candy Johnson.
Sure, but that's weird to me because Juicy Star 7 is older than both of us.
Apparently she's back. I haven't watched
I
her videos. Do you
know.
see Lexi post about that?
Yes, she's back.
I haven't watched it yet.
Anyway,
Okay.
Bethany Mota.
Know who it is, but not my era.
Great. Get Ready With Me, Day in My Life, queen, sensation. That bitch, when it would hit fall, and I just want the berry red lip that like is from MAC, and I can like smell it from here.
Totally.
With like an infinity scarf
Oh my God.
and like a cardigan
And a
like,
side bang.
suede tan boots. You know?
Yeah.
When I think of fall, I think of the Bath and Body Works candles.
Leaves by Bath and Body Works.
Right.
Yeah.
Which we were not a Bath and Body Works family. I always
No,
wanted to
same.
be a Bath and Body Works
Yeah.
girl.
It was such
Mom
a
never
YouTube
took
thing
me.
though.
Right.
Such a
That's
YouTube
why
thing.
I wanted it.
Yeah.
Because I would watch fucking Bethany get ready for school. And I'm like, first of all, what time are you waking up? 4 o'clock in the morning? Or are you not going to school? Confused. Who knows? That is what I think of every time fall strikes, which by the way, I would never buy one of those candles because I would gag immediately the
Yeah.
minute it's lit in my house.
No, you especially would not.
Very sensitive to smells.
Yeah, you would not survive.
Would je hate.
Yeah.
But that is what I think of.
Yeah, totally.
So Gavin DeGraw,
yeah.
coats, Bethany Mota, and a red lip. And we're ready to go.
This is where you and I really struggled with the playlist for like a hot second for September.
Guys, tell them.
Where I was like, I really got my retribution out on you by like taking away some of your pins and some of your stuff. Cause I was like, there's a part between the two of us where like, I am such a contrarian and you lean into like, I know it's basic, but it brings me joy. And I'm like, I just can't agree.
Well, because Meadow is like a fucking rebel without a cause sometimes.
No, sometimes.
All the time.
Thank you.
And
I
I'm
know
just
it's a
trying to be
fatal
nice.
flaw, but I have to own it because it's just who I am.
You're not a
It's just
dick
my
about
truth.
it.
I'm not mean about it. I don't yuck
No.
other people's yum.
No,
Yeah.
but because we work together
Yeah.
and we have to vibe,
I do yuck your yum sometimes.
you yucked my yum, but I understand it. So I told Meadow, I said, by the way, what we're talking about is if you're not on our Patreon, go on our Patreon because we have this amazing new monthly series called ESP and we tap into the vibes of every month. And Meadow's beautiful brainchild was like, okay, we're going to make a Pinterest board. We're going to make a Spotify playlist. We're going to do like all these lists. It's going to be amazing. It's such a fucking vibe. I love it. I said this to you yesterday. I was like, we need to start having brainstorming meetings about it because lately Meadow takes the lead, which is awesome, but she gets really inspired. And then all these things land in the board. And then I feel like I have to match my vibe to her vibe. And our vibes are not always.
No.
We're same, but very different.
Yeah. Which is the magic of the show.
Right. And you can tell.
But also I have a very specific vision.
I know, but it can't.
I know.
We have to compromise.
It was so funny.
So I sent her all these songs and I prefaced it and I said, you're going to hate this song.
Yeah.
And you took it out and that's fine. But I gave you other good songs. Which
No,
you liked.
well, you bolded the ones I said you can't take out, and I didn't. There's only 2 songs I didn't include.
Yes.
One I liked, it just didn't fit the vibe. The other one I was like, over my dead body.
The Rob Thomas song.
Over my dead body. And then the one song you made
Her
me do,
Diamonds by
I was
Rob
like,
Thomas. Okay.
I was like, can you listen to everything in order and tell me where to put this? Because I don't know what to do.
And then I listened and I said, you're right. It doesn't fit.
Yeah. But you moved it in a place that made sense. I've listened to the playlist straight through many times now.
Okay.
It's good.
Anyway.
Okay.
It's good that we became friends when we did.
Moral of the story. That's true.
Yeah.
I think if we would have met in high school, one, we would have gone along, but we would have really egged each other on in a way we both did not need at
No.
that time.
No.
You know, like too much evil.
You would have thought that I was the most basic fucking stupid bitch. And I would have thought that you were just like the artsy girl who like can't even say it on camera.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know exactly what I'm
Yeah.
thinking.
But both of our energy was like
It would have been, God knew. They
Our
couldn't put us together yet
pretentiousness,
because we just would have been the worst.
the way that our dads made
We
us
would've been
like
great.
value intellectualization. Like us
Sure.
in a classroom together would have been game fucking over for everyone involved. You know what I mean? Like it would have not been good. In a way that really serves us.
In a way that really serves us now.
Okay, let's do this all over again. Let's do a part 2.
Okay, yay. Thanks for listening.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.
That was fun.
How's it going, y'all? It's Aaron. Don't let your Monday suck. Don't have those Sunday scaries. I'm tired of everybody waking up in the week saying, shit, it's Monday. You know what goes down? TMV releases every week on Mondays. Make sure you rate and review wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're watching YouTube, yes, TMV has a YouTube. Be sure to subscribe and ring that noti bell and never miss a thing. And also, join the TMV Familia by joining the Thoughts May Vary Patreon and by following at Thoughts May Vary Pod on Instagram and TikTok. Thank you for listening. Great. There you go. Thanks, AB. Got y'all.